Welcome and enjoy 5 stories about insufferable mother-in-laws. Am I the a-hole for not wanting mother-in-law to babysit anymore? I, 38F, and husband, 39, have a 20-month-old, our only. We live near my husband's parents, and from the day our son was born I was heavily pressured into letting my mother-in-law, 73, babysit. Some backstory on the mother-in-law: she is very frail and old and forgetful. She has bad arthritis and can't open or close latches with her hands, including things like high chairs, strollers, baby gates, etc. She is also very stubborn and doesn't really listen to me. She will say okay, but then not actually do what I've asked. Early on, when our child was very young, she bumped his head on the table while holding him and made him cry. She also would put random things in his crib as an infant, which we all now know is a big no-no. We did it when we were parents. Face with rolling eyes, needless to say, I held her off for about a year. And it was not easy. Over the 8 months, I gave in and agreed to let her babysit 1 day a week, his at a great daycare other 4 days, and she's done many other questionable things. Pulls his arm too hard, doesn't change his diaper enough, doesn't offer him enough food, doesn't put sunscreen on him, doesn't use his mittens in the winter. He came home screaming once after she took him for a walk in 30-degree weather without his mittens, and his hands were bright red. These are all things I remind her of regularly when she's there, IWFH, and she says okay, but she just doesn't do them. Anyway, all of this was tolerable until recently when she opened our baby gate, at the top of some very steep and narrow stairs that lead to a hard-tiled basement, and didn't close it properly, on purpose, because it's too hard for her to open and reopen with her arthritis. I told her this was unacceptable and very dangerous for our son, and she said okay, but this just feels like another instance of saying one thing but actually not listening. Now I'm filled with anxiety whenever she comes over and want to have her stop babysitting altogether. I can't get work done when she's in the house because I'm constantly checking whether the gate is closed and if he ate enough, etc., etc. My husband says we can't stop her from babysitting because it will break her heart. And I'm like, but what about breaking our kid if she leaves the gate open again? What do I say to my husband to get him to understand that our son's safety is more important than his mom's feelings? Am I the a-hole for leaving up a picture that angers my mother-in-law? I, 25F, married my husband Joe, 27M, 4 months ago. We dated all through high school and college, so we have been in each other's lives and in each other's families for quite some time. Joe's father died when we were seniors in high school, and his sister Jill died 3 years ago. Since then, his mother Jean has been, in my opinion, unhinged. I cannot imagine her sense of loss, and I know everyone has their own grief process, so I really try not to judge, but she makes everything about her grief. She didn't come to our college graduation because she would never get to see Jill graduate from college. We try to be especially kind to her on Mother's Day, but she spends hours at the cemetery and gets very irate if we leave before she's ready to. She insists we give our first child her husband's name as a first or middle name and gets angry when we say we'll name our future children as we see fit. There have been other incidents, too. She's done so much to push Joe away while also relying on him for emotional and sometimes financial support. They have a very unhealthy relationship now. It came to a head when we were wedding planning. I invited her to come wedding dress shopping with me, my mom, my grandma, and my maid of honor. I told her she did not need to come if it was going to be painful for her, but she said she would be happy to. To all our surprise, she came and brought a wedding gown that Jill had purchased to save for her own wedding someday. She said it would help her if I tried it on, and I did, which made her cry, but then she insisted that it was my dress and I didn't need to get another one. After multiple refusals, she pouted the rest of the time. It was so awkward for everyone. This led to a lot of drama, to the point where Joe, and me, but mostly Joe, did not want her at the wedding because we couldn't trust her to not cause some kind of scene and because we thought it would be terrible for her mental health. We asked her not to come and she agreed not to. I got to have a dance with my dad, and my mom surprised Joe by stepping in for a mother's dance with him. They smiled and laughed the whole time. It was the most special part of our wedding, to me. I recently changed my FB cover photo to a picture of Joe and my mom dancing and laughing. Jean saw this and has been coming at us for it, saying it's just a reminder that she was excluded from her son's wedding day. I told her I'm not taking it down and that if she doesn't want to see it, she can simply not look at my FB. She says I am inconsiderate of her feelings and that I am an a-hole for this because it drives another wedge between her and her son. Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for refusing to speak to mother-in-law and cancelling our wedding? IF35 and fiancé M30 are considering cancelling our wedding and eloping instead because of mother-in-law. Mother-in-law has never tried to have a positive relationship with me. She makes sure I'm not included in conversations, belittles my achievements and talks down to me. Things escalated when I was planning fiancé's 30th. Mother-in-law fought me on every detail and accused me of not knowing my fiancé at all. I planned a golf weekend away for him and his family. He loves golf. Fiancé confronted mother-in-law and asked why she doesn't like me. Mother-in-law admitted she doesn't like me. Doesn't like my partner driving me to his family events, didn't like it took me a month to find employment when I moved to a different town to be with fiancé. Fiancé receives calls and texts from mother-in-law daily. If he doesn't respond, she blames me. Fiancé told her if she doesn't stop this behavior toward me, he will no longer speak with her. I agreed to meet with mother-in-law to smooth things over and try to move forward. Mother-in-law never took me up on it. But things seemed okay for a time. Fast forward to fiancé's brother's wedding. Wedding day arrives and we were to be at the venue at 4 p.m. 5 minutes to 2 p.m. Fiancé receives call from mother-in-law saying the family photoshoot is in 5 minutes. We hadn't been told of a family photoshoot. Mother-in-law demands we arrive at 2 p.m. for it. We frantically get ready and arrive at the house where the wedding was. There was never a photoshoot planned. Mother-in-law comes out in her PJs and tries to hand me suit shirts to iron. I refused. Mother-in-law snaps at me asking where my son is. He was never coming. He's at the hotel. Mother-in-law continues stating everyone thought he would be there. I respond he was never coming and we RSVP just us. She has been told multiple times he wasn't coming. The ceremony is over and I started to have guests come up to me asking where my son is. I don't even know these people's names. I tell them he's at the hotel. Looks of disgust are thrown at me. My new friends stopped talking to me. I realized these people were being told my son was at the hotel but not telling them how old he is. He is a teenager. The wedding was a place of ridicule and disgust on me. Christmas Day at mother-in-law house. Her family scurry away from me on arrival, refusing to hug or greet me. One man, whom I had met once 2 years ago, aggressively accused me of leaving my son alone on Christmas Day. Son was at father's place this year. The rumor has continued and now not only does the mother-in-law hate me, so do her family. I made up an excuse to announce the fact my son was a teenager whom just finished his first year of high school at the top of his class. Everyone's jaw dropped. None of them knew he is a teen. Mother-in-law hurried out of the room. Now fiancé wants to cancel wedding and elope because of mother-in-law. Fiancé is demanding I speak with mother-in-law one last time in order for him to cut her off. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to confront mother-in-law and for canceling the wedding? Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay my mother-in-law? IF31 gave birth to my beautiful son a week ago. Unfortunately, there were some complications, so I was only released yesterday, but I am so grateful to be home with our baby boy. When my water initially broke, my husband M33 and I were at home and I happened to be standing on my bedroom carpet. Cleaning was obviously not the priority, so I threw some towels down and we left for the hospital. During the time we were in hospital, my mother-in-law F59 kindly offered to feed our dogs for us, and we were very appreciative of her help. It was only once we get home yesterday that I saw my mother-in-law had left a receipt and note stuck to the fridge, saying that she had cleaned my bedroom carpet and wanted to be reimbursed. She had also taken it upon herself to clean the rest of the house while she was at it, and all in all, would like a day's pay at $25 per hour plus $200 worth of products. Now, while it was nice of her to clean my carpet and then the rest of my house, neither of us asked her to do this. My husband wrote her the following text. Hello Mom, we really appreciate your help over the last few days while my name was in the hospital. It was great having someone over to look after the dogs. We noticed your note and receipt on the fridge and are a little upset you took it upon yourself to 1. Snoop through the house, as neither of us had told you about my names, waters breaking in the bedroom, 2. Go out and buy hundreds of dollars worth of cleaning products, and then 3. Charging us for your time and the aforementioned products. We would also like to ask where these cleaning products are, as if we are paying for them, we would certainly like to get our money's worth. When we entrusted you with the dogs, we really thought you were helping us out of the good of your heart and not giving you an opportunity to make a quick buck. We are family, and are hurt you would do something like this while my name was so unwell. My mother-in-law immediately responded to my husband saying that she did what she did out of the kindness of her heart, and she cannot believe we would be so ungrateful. I have also received some texts from extended family members saying that mother-in-law didn't have to help me, but did do despite her advanced age out of love. I have had to turn off my phone so that I don't have to deal with all the texts, but my husband is still getting a lot of hate from his family because we are manipulating the situation and making mother-in-law the bad guy when she was only trying to get the house ready for the baby. I am quite upset by the whole thing, but my husband is now saying that maybe we should pay to get the extended family off our back and just enjoy this time as new parents rather than dealing with all this. I am not okay with paying his mom for anything. She sent another text to my husband earlier saying she would be happy to gift us the products, i.e. take it off our bill, but she would still like to be paid for her time given that she dealt with a biohazard. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this one.